The things I learned while stuck in a time loop. Most of us have seen Groundhog Day. Bill Murray gets stuck repeating the same day over and over until he learns to be a better person, charming enough to win over Andy McDowell's character. Great movie. What the movie doesn't really focus on, though, is just how long Murray is stuck in that loop. He learns French, piano, and ice sculpting. All of those would take decades to master. You've got to admire the dedication, but when you repeat the same day over and over, it's not like you have anything better to do. I wish I could remember the first few days. The early decades are just noise, static in the back of my skull. If there was a first day, it's gone now, but I'll do my best. I wake up at 7:15 a.m. That was my start time for the next 215 years. I'm supposed to be at a work event by 8, about half an hour away, so I'm already rushing. The quickest I've ever managed to wake up, get dressed, eat something, and get out the door was 4 minutes and 23 seconds. My drive takes exactly 19 minutes and 50 seconds if I avoid the speeding cameras and cops. On the first day, I wasn't so quick. Took me 15 minutes just to find clean pants. I arrived late, panicked, set up, and started playing. By work event, I mean I was hired to play music at a local weekend market. My income was a bastard mix of Centerlink, odd jobs, and whatever strangers tossed in my guitar case. It's not like I was rolling in cash. I played shitty covers for 3 hours, just loud enough to compete with the blender from the smoothie stall across the path. Then I had lunch and a coffee break. I tried every single food stall in existence during the loops, and the only genuinely decent one was a little Mexican joint in the corner of the field. The coffee on site was garbage, but I found a good cafe about a 5-minute sprint away. By the 100th loop or so, I'd mastered the timing. I could grab my lunch and a decent long black and be back before my 15-minute break was over. After that, I played another 2 hours and packed up. Then the rest of the day was mine. I can't even remember how I spent it that first time. Maybe I went to the pub, maybe I just went home and doom-scrolled. Either way, I'd eventually fall asleep. Then it reset. The first time it repeated, I thought it was déjà vu. The second time, I figured I just dreamed the previous day. By the 5th loop, I gave up on the market and just did whatever. There were no consequences. I drank. I stole cars. Broke into people's homes just to see what they were like inside. I joyroed down highways, ran red lights, did all the things you'd never do unless you were absolutely sure you'd get away with it. And for a while, it was the most fun I'd ever had. But fun decays. The thrill softens. Eventually, even anarchy becomes routine. So I pivoted. I decided I'd work through every movie I could ever have wanted to. I think I spent 50 years just watching movies, which is funny considering I don't even remember half of them now. It's not like I could take notes. I tried doing the same with TV shows, music, and books. I binged, absorbed, forgot, and repeated. I tried games too, but that was a mistake. Can't save your progress when the day resets. Eventually, I started picking up skills. Painting, cooking, writing, anything I could do within a 24-hour time frame. I got really good at latte art for a while, even won a few barista competitions, unofficially, of course. I taught myself to draw photorealistic portraits, learned origami, memorized entire books, and then rewrote them with new endings. It wasn't about meaning. It was about motion, about numbing the clock, keeping my hands busy so my thoughts didn't crawl out of my ears. There's a lot I wish I could have done. Travel, see the world. But even if I could permanently leave the city, I only had about $400 to my name. I once tried walking until I collapsed from exhaustion, slept on a stranger's lawn, woke up in my bed. The weirdest part? You still get tired. Not physically, not even mentally in the usual sense, but spiritually. Like your soul starts grinding its teeth. You decay in place. You forget who you are, not all at once, but by attrition, like your mind is being sanded down by repetition. I've lived so many lifetimes in the same 24 hours, and the one thing I learned above all else is this: time doesn't heal anything if it doesn't move forward. You stay stuck. You replay grief, shame, boredom, every unwanted emotion, forever. You can't evolve. You can't forget. You just endure. I became an endless, powerless god. I tested the boundaries of the loop. I pulled all-nighters to see if staying awake would let the day progress. It didn't. As soon as 7:15 a.m. hit, I'd blink and wake up in bed. Still, I made the most of it. Sometimes I'd watch the sun rise just for the hell of it. I played with influence. Tried saying the right combination of things to the right people. I made it as far as a meeting with the secretary of the prime minister and cabinet. That took, I don't know, thousands of loops. I delivered rehearsed speeches, memorized policy briefs, and rehearsed my charisma like it was a performance. But it never changed anything. At the end of the day, reset. Eventually, like Murray, I tried to kill myself. Repeatedly. Sometimes dramatically. Sometimes grotesquely. Maybe I'm just a worse person than he was, but I gave up on morality early on. I stepped off overpasses, drank bleach, set myself on fire in a church. I hung myself from a traffic light outside my old high school just to see if the janitor would notice. One time, I walked into a preschool and gutted myself in front of the kids. I remember blacking out with my intestines in my hands, blood pooling around my boots, hearing the shrieks of children still too young to process it. I woke up laughing. There was this one guy, a stranger, who was just being released from a mental health facility, traumatized from seeing someone die. I spent an entire week killing myself in front of him. Made it worse each time. He didn't remember, of course. No one ever did. So it's okay. None of it mattered. Nothing could kill me. Nothing could change the day. I became a museum of horror curated by my own boredom and withering sense of reality. I began seeing things. At first, it was subtle, shadows where there should have been none, a flicker of movement at the corner of my eye that vanished the moment I looked directly. Hallways seemed to stretch longer than they should, doorways framing nothing but darkness. Sometimes, reflections in windows or mirrors didn't quite match my movements, a delayed blink, a smile that lingered too long. I became convinced that a man was watching me on one of the days. I could feel his gaze like a weight on my back, cold and unyielding. No matter where I went, he was just beyond reach, lurking behind crowds, slipping into shadows. He never spoke, but his presence was a constant, a slow poison that seeped into my skin. At night, when everything was silent and the world outside my window grew still, I'd lie awake, waiting to see him step through the door. But the door never opened. Sometimes, I swear the world itself warped around him. The sky darkened a shade too deep, the air thickened, and a low hum thrummed through the walls like the loop was breathing, watching, waiting. When I slept, voices whispered secrets I couldn't understand, secrets about time, identity, and consequence. And then, one day, it ended. Time moved forward. I don't know how. It's not like I did the right things in the right order or became a better person. I didn't have an epiphany or reach enlightenment. It just happened. 8:47 a.m. I stared at those changing numbers on my phone like they were written in ancient script. I hadn't seen that time in centuries, and it hit me hard. I had no idea who I was anymore. I'd been so many versions of myself, tried on so many personalities, lived so many fragmented lifetimes that I forgot how to be someone. Or at least the person I was before all of this. I forgot my birthday. I forgot my friends' names. I had to relearn how to hold a conversation without knowing what the other person would say. How to plan. How to wait. How to live when things don't reset. The final lesson I was given by the loop. It's that you don't need eternity to become someone better. You just need time that moves. Time that hurts. I don't know who I am anymore. Maybe that's something I have to find out. For now, all I can do is wait and see what time decides to do next.